Bitcoin has been on quite a tear, and even Ethereum has. So today I thought let's go ahead and talk about some of the main news and reasons why Bitcoin has really been just killing it. Again, literally it's just this past weekend, and I'll kind of give you guys my thoughts and opinions, and we'll also take a look at the charts as well to see where it might be headed next. So let's get right into it. One of the first things that I wanted to talk about was Tether. Now, if you're not familiar, Tether is it's called USDT, and it's pretty much a stable token built on Ethereum. But the main point is that it's back to the US dollar 1-to-1. So one Tether is equal to one US dollar. Now, over the past couple of days, specifically the 21st and the 22nd, it looks like, or the 20th and the 21st, my bad, about 500 million Tether has been printed. Now, they've had issues in the past where people were wondering, and I guess they had their own little audits, whether it was really actually backed by the dollar, because that's kind of the whole thing, that all the new tokens that they print are supposed to be backed by US dollars. That is still yet to be said as far as I'm concerned. I think they've been kind of caught in a scandal here and there. But the point is that, Tether printings seem to happen in line with Bitcoin pumps. So whenever Bitcoin either starts to pump or is already pumped, Tether seems to be just printed out of nowhere. So the whole speculation comes into play where it's like, all right, is Tether kind of inflating Bitcoin's value by having these guys just print more and just buying Bitcoin with it every time, a bull run happens, or to start a bull run? I'm not going to be the one to say that maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I feel like if Tether was going to be the thing that starts the bull run or, continues the bull run, I feel like they would have been caught already. I'm sure they've been kind of, found out a couple times already. I think even April of this year, actually, it looked like they minted about 160 million USDT, while Bitcoin was rallying to $9,000. But, that was pretty much one, if you see here, that was 1 week after research was released that argued that Tether isn't used to manipulate the Bitcoin price. So, people are saying it's not. It's possible that it may be. Coming from a person who holds Bitcoin, obviously, if you do too, then you don't want it to manipulate the price, to be honest with you. But it's just something interesting that I think I might as well bring up, since that is going to be maybe part of the reason why it's pumping. You never know. But the next thing we wanted to take a look at was JP Morgan, our favorite guy. JP Morgan turns bullish on Bitcoin, citing potential long-term upside. Guys, this is the same guy who was saying that Bitcoin is a fraud and that it will blow up all the way back in 2017 when it was rallying, right? When it went from $1,000 early 2017 all the way up to 20 or near the end of the year. All right, again, same guy, okay? Same guy. This guy holds most of our money in his banks, by the way. You got this guy back in 2017 saying that essentially it's a fraud, it's going to blow up, you're wasting your money, don't invest into it. 3 years later, now, he says that essentially Bitcoin and gold are competing with each other. What? How is this not, bro, someone hold this man accountable. SEC, where you at? CFTC, where are you at? Yo, come on, man. That's crazy. This guy should have some sort of, I don't know. Someone's got to hold this man accountable for the shit that he says. This is crazy, bro. This man going off harder than Trump, bro. And Trump goes off hard. You know what I mean? What's up? Anyways, I just thought that I'd bring that up as well because, again, this is a guy who essentially was saying that 3 years ago, he was only 3, he was saying that Bitcoin is trash, don't invest into it, you're wasting your money. And, obviously, when news comes to light, you want to change your opinion, that's fine. But to be so vehemently against something that you know nothing about and to just go out right and say all this stuff, before it pumps, that's disgusting, dude. And as far as I'm concerned, me and this man loaded up on mad Bitcoin right when he said this shit. As soon as he was typing on his keyboard, all this shit, he was pressing the button on Gemini or Coinbase or whatever and buying that. Let's keep it a buck, dude. JP Morgan, you ain't tricking me for a second. The next thing, PayPal and Venmo. Oh, okay. This is the bread and butter. This is what all you guys have been waiting for. PayPal. This was the big news. This was on Wednesday, where essentially PayPal announced that it would begin supporting crypto for the first time, where you could hold, buy, and sell Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin. the four, I guess you could say, main currencies. Bitcoin Cash. Come on, brother. Roger Ver is chilling right now. But anyways, PayPal. So this is the news that we've been waiting for quite some time, and it's interesting how it happened. I don't know. It was seemingly out of nowhere. It was, I think it was a couple of months ago. People were talking about PayPal potentially having the ability for people to store crypto on there. But it's a good thing, right? You're essentially opening up millions of users who already use PayPal to have the option to buy and sell crypto. Not only that, but you can actually, it seems like they're trying to integrate a way to spend it as well, right? Now, to be clear here, like for example, let's say I have PayPal on I have the PayPal app, or the Venmo app, I guess in this case, and I want to go to the store to buy a sandwich, right? From what I understand, you'll be able to sell it, or like let's say you'll be able to buy a sandwich with the crypto, like let's say if they have like the NFC. However, the store itself is not taking the crypto, right? The crypto itself is actually going to be, like, from what I understand, sold instantaneously. So the store itself is going to get the cash, and you're getting rid of your crypto. So it's not really like stores accepting crypto because they're not taking crypto; they're taking cash. So that's number one. Number two, for everyone who knows why crypto is important, this is going to be a bummer. You cannot transfer your crypto out of PayPal. Much like Robinhood, if you have Robinhood, you can buy crypto on there, but you can't transfer it out. Nor do you own it per se. Right? One of the main reasons why crypto is what it is because you have your own private key, because you own it. Right? You have your own rights to it. You can sell it whenever you want. You can transfer it whenever you want. You can hold it. You can do whatever you want with it. It's your property because you own the private key. However, when you choose to go with a custodian just like PayPal, you lose your rights essentially to doing whatever you want with that crypto. And that's the only thing. Well, it's two of those. It's that you don't own the private key, number one, and two, you can't transfer it. Come on, bro. You can't even transfer it? Like, oh, God. Guys, PayPal, what? Come on, guys. Like, how you going? You know what? Listen, I do want to say here that it's a good thing that PayPal is implementing this either way, right? It's okay that, I guess, you can't transfer, you don't have the private key. The point here is that public adoption is coming, and it's coming in a regulated sense. And to be honest with you, I think most people like that. Believe it or not, I think most people like the fact that they're not in charge essentially of their money or currency, and that someone else is going to be handling it for them. Believe it or not, if you ask the average person, most of them would probably say that they're fine with having someone else manage their shit for them. The point is, it's good news for the most part. However, it is a kind of a bummer that you can't transfer it or, pretty much own your own assets. The whole private key thing, I'm not surprised. I mean, obviously, any of these apps that come out, any of these major companies that come out with the ability for you to hold crypto in it, you don't own the private key. That's just how it works, right? But the transfer thing just sucks, dude. I mean, shit. Like I have a Cash App, for example, right? I can buy Bitcoin on it. I can sell Bitcoin on it. But when I go to transfer it, and I can transfer it, which is good, I need to give them my information. Which, okay, whatever. Like, like, if you want to use their service, you got to play the game. I get it, because there are other apps that allow you to have Bitcoin, crypto, and whatnot. You don't need to give them in your information. Cash App obviously is not one of them, because, obviously. But I was hoping PayPal might be, bro. I mean, but it seems like even if you give them your information, they won't even let you transfer it. So, again, huge bummer there. But it's going to be good, again, for public adoption. Think about it, right? My hope is that, the PayPal is essentially the onboarding onto crypto. And once people understand, like, okay, like, it's essentially like an appreciating asset that that's pretty liquid, right? They can sell it, buy it, like whatever, almost like a stock, but you can spend it right away. Honestly, that's what a lot of people are going to think of it as. But the good thing is that PayPal will also be implementing some sort of, how do you say, like a learning feature for people who have crypto as well. Or I don't think, even if you don't have crypto, they'll give you the option to learn more about it. So what I'm hoping is that PayPal essentially jinx themselves and they show people, all right, this is the point of crypto, this is how it works, and hopefully the smart people will be like, oh, so the point is for my money to be decentralized, for me to have actual ownership of it, and for it to be liquid and I can use it at any time. And they'll realize, why am I using PayPal? You know, like that's what I'm hoping. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I think as more and more people get onto crypto, as more people learn about it, it'll be more clear what the point of it is. Especially people like leaders in the space, like Vitalik, like some of the people who who are still developing on Bitcoin today, the Bitcoin blockchain today. It'll be very interesting to see, like how the public really ends up adopting crypto. I think for the most part it's going to be regulated, but it would be nice to me, like in a perfect world, I'm hoping that crypto is adopted in the correct way, where it's essentially everyone bending the knee to the crypto and not people bending the knee to the corporations who are holding their crypto for them. Bars. All right, let's get into the prices. 15% up on the weekly for Bitcoin, 12% up on Ethereum, 11% up Bitcoin Cash. Link is up 20% almost. Litecoin 24%. Litecoin was definitely a hit. Litecoin hasn't been doing too much anything crazy. Like they honestly, Litecoin's been kind of a sleeper this past couple of weeks, to be honest with you. But it's good to see that it's finally picking up some momentum. For all those LTC holders, bruh. Your boy still got some Uniswap. That shit is not doing too good. It's down 3%. If you're holding any alts, then yeah, you may not be doing too hot, unless it was some of the main ones. But let's look at Bitcoin. So now, I don't know if you guys saw my recent video, or I think I made about 2 or 3 of them actually at this point, about my thoughts on where Bitcoin's going to go in the next weeks, months, year or so. I like to base a lot off past performance and the halvening. The 4-year cycle essentially is what it's called. Now, if you ask me, we honestly look like we're in straight bull formation. Like if we're just looking at this chart, guys, it is beautiful. And mind you, like, look at this chart as if it's just hard. Like, hold on. So this is 2017, right? I want to give you guys a little idea of what I was looking at when Bitcoin was pumping in 2017. We were all looking at the same thing. This is what we saw. We saw we saw a ramp, bro. Y'all ever been to a skate park? We saw a straight an infinity ramp. That shit just went 90 degrees. I literally remember thinking to myself back in 2017, is it possible for this chart to actually go backwards for how high it's going to go, right? So I want you to think of this chart and let's look at this, okay? Now, 2017 was the year after the halvening, the previous halvening. The previous halvening happened in 2016, right around, I think it was in May of 2016, right? So essentially, if we're taking a look at this chart, let's go ahead and let's try to plot what essentially we're seeing right now, but back then, but in the last halvening. So I'm going to take October 29th and just go all the way back here. This is what we saw. You see this chart? I want you to compare this chart with the chart we just saw. Okay? The chart we were just looking at. Now, if you do that, you'll see that pretty much it's the exact same thing. Now, that huge slope we just saw up, that infinity curve, that's what's coming next. That's what I'm talking about, bro. So whether Bitcoin hits 50K, 70K, 100K, 150K, like, I mean, listen, I'm along for the ride, bro. All right, I got my seatbelt strapped. I'm ready to go. But in terms of short term, I mean, like, it's hard to say that I think Bitcoin's gonna go anywhere lower at this point. A lot of people were hoping that it would go down to like 19K, or sorry, not 19K, 9K, or maybe even like sub 10K, pretty much. Honestly, just below 10K, and it did not happen. It did not happen at all. I'll be honest, I even expected it to happen a little bit, but we're in full bull formation, bro. The bottom was March. COVID was the bottom, essentially. If you didn't buy that, then I don't know what to tell you. But even now, listen, I mean, this isn't financial advice, but even now, if you wanted to cop yourself some BTC, some ETH, some BCH, some LTC, it's go for it, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, I mean, this stuff, we're still in the early stages, bro. The market cap is right around 400 million. That's about half of what it was in 2020. And there's a lot more adoption. There's a lot more technology. There's a lot more different coins. There's a lot more innovation in the space. It's growing exponentially, especially since all the way back then. And I'm just excited to be along for this ride, guys. I hope you are too. Thank you for tuning in. Again, if we're talking about short term, I think we're going up. Again, I'm strapped up and I'm ready to go. Let me know down in the comments. Do you think Bitcoin will dip again? I don't think so. I don't think it's going any lower. Like, it may go down to 12 or something like that, but there's no shot it is going anywhere near 10K or none of that shit. Just no shot. I don't believe it. I honestly don't. But with that being said, let me know down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.